It is just a beautiful day. Look at all these wildflowers. It's Mother's Day 2025, and we are just so blessed to finally have some beautiful weather. Not sure if you can see the geese floating out there. Ah, so gorgeous. Absolutely stunning, stunningly great day. I hope the slight wind and waterfall doesn't bother you, because to me it's so calming, and like I said, it's just such a beautiful day out here. And some things I was thinking about this morning, well, a major thing is how different Mother's Day is today in 2025 than it was for me in 1990, 1991. It is so... Things are done so differently, which is not a bad thing. I mean, change is good. I like change. I like adapting to certain kinds of change. Not all kinds of change, but certain kinds of change. And I think, everybody has their own way of doing things. But I thought it would be kind of fun to take a look back to see how Mother's Day was and having a baby was back in the early 90s. And just maybe comparing it to what happens today. Yes, I have my notes here. So the first thing is, couples seem to have what is called now a baby moon, similar to a honeymoon, which happens after a couple gets married. They go on a trip or whatever and just take a break after the big wedding is over. But now couples do what is called a baby moon, something I wasn't familiar with because we didn't have that when I had my children. And a baby moon is when a couple is ready to have their child. They haven't had the child yet, but they go away on a trip to have time together before the baby arrives. And I think that's kind of cool. It's just not something I'm familiar with. I am now, but we didn't have that, or we didn't do that. It's just crazy how things change. And what's so 10, 20, 25 years later, a baby moon is a thing now. And on Mother's Day, when I was growing up, now this is when I was a kid, got my mother a card. My dad would drive us to the store. Well, he would drive me to the store. My brother is 8 years older than me, so by that point, he was able to drive his own self to get a card, and I'm sure my father forced him to do that to make sure my mother had something from us on Mother's Day, but I couldn't drive because I was like 10. So he would take me to the store, we go pick out something from my mom, and then when I had my kids, my husband would really do so much stuff for me from the kids on Mother's Day. We'd start off by, I would have breakfast made for me. He would let me go off and have some time to myself, or we would go out to eat. Things changed throughout the years as the years went by, and my kids got older. And I have to say, even though the gifts and the meals out, that was all great and fun, but I have to say, when he gave me time to go to the bookstore by myself, or just some time to spend alone, first of all, I liked it in the beginning, like the first hour or so, and then it's like, I want to get back to my family. I'm over it. But I did like having the time to myself. My kids they're less than 2 years apart, so it was kind of hectic when they were growing up. So that was basically, our simple, well, when I was growing up, I thought it was a simple Mother's Day. I didn't think about it then. I thought it was a big, ginormous deal. But then as time went on, I had my kids. It was so celebrated. Same thing for Father's Day. We just do so much. But now it's, wow. Like, I think people, they expect a big thing. Not a lot of people, but some people just expect, dinner out or a gift. I don't want anything. I really don't. And I'll tell you at the end what I feel is most important. And going out to eat on any type of holiday, In my own personal opinion, I'd rather eat at home. I mean, back in the day, it was always fun to do that. But today, I'm much happier cooking something. I have no problem doing that. I'm not rushed. You know, we don't have somebody asking us, you know, if we want anything else every few minutes, which again, they're doing their job, but I don't know. I've become a homebody, I guess, after all these years of going out all of the time. Now I really enjoy cooking and being home. So another thing people do today, which they didn't do when I was having my kids, they get a lot of professional pictures done. We had pictures done. Was it called Kinder Photo? I think that was it. That's what, you know, it was its own standalone shop. And you went, you made an appointment, you had the kids' photos done, and then they kept mailing you things. They kept mailing you the kids' pictures. Oh, you got to get more. You got to buy this. And they were expensive back in the day, but they were simple. Today, people go on location, they do full-fledged photo shoots, they get matching outfits. I mean, people still had matching outfits back in the day, but today it's just, I think it's more thought out, and it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I am not shooting down any of today's traditions. I think it's great. People, like I said, people evolve, they change, and that's the whole point of us moving forward in life, right? Our families create their own traditions. I just think it's so interesting how we just didn't have a lot of these things when I had my children. So yeah, the professional photos, that's a big deal. And I guess that's something people do for Mother's Day now. And this has nothing to do with Mother's Day, it kind of does, but I saw a recent video of Olivia Culpo. I don't know if you know her, but she is from Rhode Island. I think she lives in Rhode Island. I don't know, but I'm guessing she has family here. She's from here. Her family has restaurants here. And they just showed video, and I think the video was in People magazine. I mean, she's a big deal. She's getting ready to have a baby. Her baby shower was beyond over the top, beyond even a wedding, I think. I think they probably spent at least a couple $100,000 on this baby shower, which is great. It looked absolutely stunning and beautiful, and the flowers and everything was so curated and thought out, but it's just not something, you know, we were able to do or even thought of or conceived of. I mean, my baby shower was in my aunt's backyard, which was great. It was fine to me. I was great with it. But today, as things have evolved, they've just seemed to have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. But Olivia Culpo is also a celebrity, and I say, hey, you got the money, you do it, you have a great time with it, and enjoy. You know, no shade here, believe me. It's just, I don't think we would have thought of having a baby shower to even half of that magnitude, even if we did have the money. It's just, these things are so thought of now. And I believe that social media has a lot to do with that. And, you know, Mother's Day was really, growing up, it was to celebrate my mom. You know, what did I do today for this Mother's Day? I had my husband go in our yard. We have some beautiful flowers. What I did was, just to back up a little bit, I bought some pansies last week to put on my parents' grave for Mother's Day. And we left them outside. We got so much rain in the past few days, they were ruined. So I said, you know what? We were gonna go buy some, and I said, just go cut some in the backyard. And he put together a beautiful bouquet. We brought it to the cemetery, and then we went to the supermarket. And now my daughter will be coming over shortly, and we're not doing anything. We're just gonna hang out. I also went up to, I say up to, is it up to, down to, I don't know, but I went to Federal Hill in Providence We hadn't been there in a really long time. A place called Constantino's. They sell the best ravioli on the planet. And I bought some prosciutto. Oh my gosh, this prosciutto, unbelievable. I don't know if he said it was cured for 36 months or I don't know, but all I can tell you is that best prosciutto I've had in a really long time. And I got some lobster ravioli, got some marinara sauce, pre-made from Costantino's. It's always good. And it was just a really nice morning. Came back home, cleaned up a bit, doing some laundry, and we're just going to eat this afternoon and enjoy each other's company. And that's where it comes down to at this stage of my life. I feel like Mother's Day is all about having time with the people that you love, because time is ticking. Time is going by so fast. Like my husband always says, the window's closing. It's closing. And it's true. It really is true. When, you try to not think about it, but when you do think about it, you have to enjoy your life. And you're not going to get this time back. None of us are going to get the time back. So if you can have the time to spend with your children or your fur babies or whoever your family is, I think at the end of the day, that's what's important. Materialistic stuff, we can buy ourselves, pretty much what we need, and sometimes what we want, anytime. Doesn't need to be on Mother's Day or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever holidays you celebrate. It doesn't need to be on any particular day. And I always try to say that, I feel like I can get myself anything I need or want whenever. And that's not to sound like, oh my gosh, I have endless amounts of cash, because I don't. But my needs and wants have also changed and evolved throughout the years. So yes, when my kids were little, it was so fun to get nice gifts and go out to a really nice restaurant. That was awesome. And it's memories that I'll never forget. But today, I don't even want a card. I don't need a card. I just want and need their time and their love. That's it. That's all I ask for. Their time and their love. And if you are fortunate enough to get that from whomever your family is, I think that you are beyond blessed. So happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, also one more thing. I just remembered it. It was on my note. The current president that we have, I'm just so afraid to even say names because, this is a very sensitive topic, platform, I should say, not channel, platform. Very sensitive platform. So I won't even say. But our current president is also wanting to give a $5,000 bonus, potentially, allegedly, to new moms. I'm like, why didn't we get that? I would have liked that. Forget the time. No, not forget the time. But geez, that would have been nice when I had my kids. I will say that would have been super helpful, but it didn't happen. But if it happens for you guys, good for you. And on that note, have an awesome day and happy Mother's Day to you.